Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nausher Ahmed, and I'm one of the lecturers for PwC's Academy. I specifically teach the subject for performance management, and today I'm going to be giving you advice relating to the topic of financial and non-financial analysis for a company. Now, this is a very commonly tested topic in the exam, specifically in Section C. How commonly, you might ask? Well, in the last 4 sittings, each and every sitting had at least one version of the exam where you had a 20-marker question in Section C for this particular topic. So needless to say, it's quite commonly tested. Now, to set the context of how a question like this looks, I have a printout here. Typically, a question like this will have a lot of case study information for a specific company, followed by a lot of financial metrics and some non-financial metrics. And in the end, there'll be this small, tiny requirement by the examiner which says, analyze this company. 7 to 8 marks for calculations, all the rest for discussions. And typically, students struggle with this because 1, they don't know how to start, how to structure their answer. 2, they don't perform the analysis properly. So when they're unfamiliar, what students tend to do is they go for what is familiar, and usually that tends to be ratio analysis. So they'll start calculating all the ratios that they can think of: profit margins, efficiency ratios, gearing ratios, and so on and so forth. And then the examiner will come and say, oh, students focus too much on the calculations, they don't discuss. When the examiner specified that there's 7 to 8 marks for calculations, please do not make more than 7 to 8 calculations. Do not conduct calculations just for the sake of doing calculations. Rather, each calculation you do should have a corresponding point of analysis with it. So students will take it a step further. They calculate the profit margin, find out it is increased from 10% to 20%, and they'll say, the profit margin has increased by 10%, this is good. But that's not what the examiner is looking for. The examiner does not want you to tell him what is going on, but rather why something is happening, right? So students might take it a step further. They'll say, okay, maybe the costs decreased, causing the profit to increase and the profit margin to increase. And that's good. That can earn you some marks, but not all the marks. See, there's a reason the examiner gave you this large case study with information about the company. It has the information that he wants you to analyze. So rather than starting with the metrics and the numbers, start with the case study. Now, in the case study, the examiner will drop some hints on how he wants you to structure the answer and which points he wants you to discuss. Specifically, he might use headings. So he'll give you headings: Division A, Division B, Division C, and you can use the same headings in your answer. Or he might give you the company objectives. The company wants to increase customer satisfaction this year. He's giving you a hint that that's what he wants you to talk about. That's what he wants you to analyze. So this is how you go about the question. Go to the first heading, let's say Division A, and read the first sentence. It might say, Division A has outsourced labor to another country where costs are much cheaper. Stop. Analyze this sentence. Do a calculation for it. So if labor has been outsourced to somewhere where it's much cheaper, we would expect labor costs to go down. Look into the financial metrics. Find labor costs. Calculate how much they have decreased by. Now, when it comes to calculations, please do not show the absolute increase or decrease. The examiner does not like that. Show the percentage change. So you'll do a calculation. Heading, Division A, labor costs have decreased by, let's say, 15%. 1 mark there. And the analysis. This could be due to the fact that labor was outsourced to a country where it is much cheaper. 2nd mark, and everything tied up in a nice bundle just like the examiner wants it. And you proceed sentence by sentence in the same manner, and you'll have a structure to your answer. Or you might go by the company objectives. So the company objective is to maximize customer satisfaction. That's automatically a hint. Look for any metrics that measure customer satisfaction. For example, you might find customer complaints. Calculate the percentage change in customer complaints. Then you have your heading, maximizing customer satisfaction. Customer complaints went down by, let's say, 10%. This is because the company has been focusing on maximizing customer satisfaction. 2 marks bundled up nicely, just like the examiner wants. If you're really bold, you can try to create a whole story by linking up different parts of the analysis. So you can say, because the company was able to outsource labor and to a country where it was much cheaper, labor costs went down, the prices went down and customers became much more happy, which is why customer satisfaction increased as well, all in line with the company's main statement that they want to maximize customer satisfaction. Do you need to go into that much detail? No, not necessarily, but it certainly does help in earning you brownie points. So that's how you go about it. Heading by heading, sentence by sentence, calculation with the corresponding analysis, and then you'll have the structure just the way the examiner wants it. I hope this session was helpful for you. If there are any questions, I'd be happy to assist you with them. Thank you very much.